Hey everyone, thanks for joining me on today's, I guess you can call it a walk around. It's at our new project here in Jacksonville, and I'm just going to be talking to you today about a few things in life that are, they're just built to last. If you know anything about us, you know that we love working on old homes. And the awesome thing is, we get to do it every single day. If you've ever driven around a historic district, you know what makes it cool. You know why you want to be there, you know what makes those houses special, and it's sometimes not something that you can put your finger on. It's a lot of different things. It's the little things, like cedar shake, like the mixture of brick and maybe say different types of siding all on one house. It's like the 6-inch inset windows, the big thick window trim. It just takes you back to when things were built just a little differently. Maintaining one of these houses is not cheap, but also when you go down the road and buy one, what's even more expensive is getting into the home and not knowing how much it's going to be to repair one of these. So follow me. We're going to learn a couple things, put some things in those head cells of yours today. Follow me. Come on, first one. This month's project is a 1922 bungalow, and it was made primarily, all the walls, exterior walls, were made out of a clay brick. And they were a honeycomb, and you got a good example of what it looks like here, how it's put together. Plaster put directly on the outside or in the inside walls, so it's really easy to do electric. Not. Homes built in the beginning of the last century, like the first 50 years, they used stucco with Portland cement, and honestly, when you get into a home like that, with the stucco done with the cement and the traditional ways, it can go both ways. It can go way off a cliff and you don't know what you're getting into, or it'll be in great shape like this one. Now, over the past, I'd say 12 years, we've had the pleasure of being in a lot of like the people's homes that walk around our jobs and that come by and see us. And over the years, we've learned a thing or two about what to look for as far as pitfalls and positives in purchasing an old home. So let me give you a little advice today and explain kind of the process, what we went through when we purchased this big guy. First thing, location, location, location. Second thing, never buy the biggest house on the block. In every neighborhood, there is an average per square foot price for the homes in your neighborhood. You can find that house by doing what they call a CMA, or a comparative market analysis. There's a sweet spot. The demand in our area is for homes under $400,000. So we're not gonna buy a home that we have to sell for over $400,000. When we find a house we're interested in, we do a walk around and see how much the renovations are gonna cost. So this is where a good contractor that knows old homes is gonna come in handy to you when you buy that house and don't start dumping money into it. So my suggestion would start with the biggest stuff first. What's above us, the roof, and what's below us, the foundation. Usually piers on these old homes because they thought it was a cool thing to do piers. They didn't do stem walls. So those always need repair first. Then go to your electrical, your plumbing, and then the stuff that starts making it look pretty. But I would definitely start with the big ones first. So why am I telling you this? Because I don't want you, one, to get in trouble with the mortgage company or the underwriter there, or insurance. Those two things will trip you up when you're buying an old home. So if the roof doesn't leak and it's over 15 years old, you're probably still gonna have a problem with it. If your house has knob and tube, they aren't going to insure it. If the box is a Federal Pacific, that's not right for insurance, and they will not write insurance on it. So keep those things in mind. Another tidbit, this, plumbing. If it's galvanized in your home, they're gonna make you replace it with PVC. All of it. They'll say no more galvanized, please update to PVC. So back to this house and what we're having to do or not have to do. So we don't have to replace this roof. And look at this beautiful stucco. We don't have to repair it. All we have to do is paint it. Beautiful. But we do have to give them an all new PVC piping, half updated electric, since it was already updated in the 80s, 2 new bathrooms, 1 new kitchen, inclusive of a walk-in pantry, And then lastly, we're going to paint everything. Fix some plaster on the inside and maybe some new drywall on the studs just so we don't look crazy. But I think it's all gonna come back with some beautiful original flooring too, which has a nice cherry band in the flooring. And just like that, oh, hey, here's our finished product. And I'm not in work clothes, and I'm having an adult beverage in occasion to this being finished. If you'll remember when we were last here, it did not look like this, and it had some really good looking green behind me. I wanted to start this video off with saying that basically I was wrong about something. On the floors, it was not cherry, which has a nice cherry band in the flooring. It was a walnut band around these beautiful floors, and we found that out when we stripped them. And upon stripping, the floor guys said, you were wrong, Jeff. And I fully admit I was wrong. Everything else about the house, I was right. It turned out beautiful. And there are some things that maybe you'll remember. The windows were a little dingy before, no longer dingy, and they're all beautiful. Got a lot of replaced glass. Did some wavy glass replacement, and we did some non-wavy glass replacement, but all in all, you can see through it and it looks beautiful. A lot of times in an old house, maybe it's just me, I look for some really weird, cool things that are in them when we go in them. This happens to be one, so maybe I'm the only one in the world that likes it, but it's a 42-inch front door. Huge. You can move just about anything through it. And I was just wanting to highlight it on this house because it's a rarity. Most normally the doors are 36. I think maybe 3-4 years ago we had a door about this size and it was a Dutch door, but this was not a Dutch door, and still I love it, love the size of it. Maybe it's just me again, but wanted to point that out on this house. Come on in this bedroom and you'll recognize this. Maybe you recognize the studs that were there, but not the drywall. This is the bedroom that we bedroom/bathroom we carved out of an extra room. We have this bathroom here. It's a master. And you'll notice the floor looks an awful lot like marble. Well, it's a surprise. It's porcelain. And you'd be surprised the porcelain will look like marble for years and not take such bad abuse that we all give it, and still look good for years, unlike my marble in my house, which looks terrible now. Anyway, you'll notice the bathroom is a lot cleaner than it was. I don't have anybody painting this window, but we're finished, which is amazing, which is a nice thing to see. Back in the master here, not big of a change. The color changes. I think you'll notice there's no pink and green in this place. So hopefully this will be the closest to any green we have in here. I scooted back in here to the dining room, and I just wanted you to look up. We've got some nice, I think it was 5-inch crown. What that is doing for us, we had some plaster going up to drywall ceiling, and that was not going to finish out really nice without the crown. So if you're doing this in your own home, think about using some crown. It dresses up the dining room, plus it kind of covers up where those two things are going to meet, and they never meet perfectly. I don't care how hard you try. The best drywall guy in the world is always going to have maybe a less than perfect straight line to paint with. And if you guys paint your own house, you know what I'm talking about. But follow me back here. We're going to go down the hallway, and I'll show you the other bath that we carved out of that kind of free space in this house. We have a painted ceiling. I think I showed you painted ceiling before. You'll notice the ceiling's a different color, and it's all going to tie in once we get it all decorated, but it's still there. We didn't decide to get rid of it. And it seemed to tie it all together when we got artwork and wood stuff in here, because it toned it down, and it's just a really cool look to have. Then back on the back, we have our washroom and, let me turn the light on for you. Our washroom and kind of a pantry. It depends on how the homeowner wants to use it. Pantry would be great, but the washroom, the washer dryer can go in there, and plenty of room. On that wall, we did use a reclaimed door. We do that all the time. It's nice to use that stuff because I hate seeing these good things chucked away. So we try to use them and give them another life, at least another double life. But also, a couple things we do, this wasn't done before on the backsplash where the stove is. Right where the hood is, we decided to go vertical with our tile backsplash instead of horizontal, and I really like it. It's got a real subtle light grout to it, and I think the homeowner will like it. We'll see. Another little thing that the builder wanted me to point out was she always likes us to have deep drawers. And she said, anybody that's in the kitchen knows why they need deep drawers. It is definitely for the pots and pans. So that is just a nice little thing that people think about in our line of work to help things out in your line of work, working in the house. In this kitchen, we demoed the whole thing, and behind this, there was a chimney of sorts for the old oil heater. But normally in a kitchen, like maybe some that you've seen us do before, we've left it naked with a cool looking brick, and it brings a really good vibe. If anybody's seen it before with the brick in the kitchen, it's just really cool looking. It kind of looks coffee place-esque, say. This one had the honeycomb brick, and it just was not pretty. So we decided to hide it behind drywall, and that's what we did. But we instead put really cool stoves and microwaves around it, and I think it did its job. Behind the camera, which I'm gonna switch spaces with him, you're gonna see the mudroom, and I don't know, it's hard to remember what was on the video and what wasn't, but I did wanna mention, we did try to bring the inside out, or the outside in. There were already this whole house has shingles like above the halfway mark on it, and we wanted to bring those inside just so you'd be able to, I don't know, we didn't want to paint them, we just wanted them natural to be just a nice, bringing the outside in. In this same mudroom, if you remember correctly, on the video that was tagged before this, I said, we're just gonna replace half the electric. Well, guess what? We had to replace it all. It's a new box here because we did not have enough circuits to provide electric for everything that was going to be put in the house, like the 2 stoves, the oven, and the microwave. So anyway, those things pop up. So if you're doing it by yourself, know that those things are going to pop up, and you're really going to want to say, you know what, those things might come into view, and I'm not prepared for them. Guess what? You got to be prepared for them or wait for them. One of the two. All right, for my parting gift, I guess maybe that would be it. When you guys use a contractor that does the house right, the only thing to do in the end is to enjoy it. So enjoy your houses. Christina, I need a refill.